EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for January 26th, 2023. It is Thursday, and the Thursday video forecast is proudly sponsored by North Penn Car Wash in Lansdale, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Keep your vehicle looking great all the time. Stop wasting your money on those costly individual washes with North Penn Car Wash's Unlimited Car Wash Club. You can join at a very low price starting at just $13.95 per month, and it's the only place where weather doesn't matter. Yesterday, we just had a big storm, and, whether it be rain or snow or both, and winter could bring in its fair share of those with ice and rain and, of course, road brine and salt to dirty your vehicle. But with North Penn Car Wash's Unlimited Car Wash Club, it's no worry at all to stop by as often as you like within the calendar month to get a fresh wash for that one low monthly rate. They are North Penn Car Wash, 986 Sumneytown Pike in Lansdale, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Proud sponsors of the Thursday video forecast. So this is that system that is exiting. This is actually a quite impactful system, not really so much from the snow standpoint, although some areas did get several inches of snow. But we also had a lot of rain last night, and once that changed over, we had most areas were in that half inch to 1 inch area, and we even had a couple swath right around far southeastern PA in the Philadelphia metro area that went over an inch with just some training. Heavy rain over the same area. So that is now moved out of our region, and we are going to have mostly cloudy skies for much of the interior areas today and windy conditions. And southeastern areas will see a little bit more in the way of sun as this pulls away. So taking a look at yesterday. Now, this is the European model I ran for several months ago. I'm just going to use this as a point of reference, okay? We had the biggest challenge I was saying all week was going to be the southeasternmost extent of this precipitation as far as snow is concerned. And the southeasternmost extent did, in fact, go right where the European model had it. Okay, so that was good. The European model did very well with that. What this and others missed were two things. And I told you there was going to be some surprises, good and bad, with this storm because no model had this figured out. It was astounding how much different they were within just 12 hours of the storm. And even this morning, or yesterday morning, it was the same way. They were, as the event was happening, they were still throwing out these wildly different solutions, and it was crazy. So there were a few surprises, one for the better if you like snow. Down in these areas, south central PA, especially down when you get down to Franklin County, Adams County, Cumberland County, Perry County, and then parts of northern Maryland here in the Panhandle, they got made up pretty well, a lot better than the models expected. Where it did not work out as well are these areas up in here from Lycoming all the way, especially when you get into this northeast corner of Pennsylvania. This one right here hurt for parts of these regions here. We're expecting a lot of snow. We were expecting a 4 to 6 inch swath up there at least in the higher elevations, and that didn't happen either. And the reason for that was because we had initially, it was fighting hours and hours of dry air where it looked like on radar it was snowing and snowing at a good rate, and it wasn't reaching the ground. We had a big dry air wedge that had to overcome, and once it finally did, then we had a dry slot come in really quickly into central and northeast PA, and that shut off the precipitation. So you rarely got any. And it was actually a rare case. If you would have told me that Allentown Lehigh Valley International Airport would have more snow than Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport, I would have told you were nuts. But that is, in fact, what happened. Okay, so that's one of those things that happens sometimes. It was fighting dry air too long initially, and then the dry slot came in behind it and shut it off once it did start snowing. Got about an inch in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, which is pretty low considering what we had projected up there. We had a 2 to 4 in that area, so that fell about 1 to 3 inches short, right? So that happens with these systems, and we're glad to put this one behind us and move on. Very tricky forecast with that one. And models were no help with it whatsoever. So we're going to move beyond this now and look at today. We have some cold air advection-related wind gusts, and we're going to be generally having winds in the 15 to 25 mile per hour range, but you will have some peak gusts that are in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range, most notably in areas of elevation and down by the shore, I think is where you're going to have your highest wind gusts today. The rest of us are generally peak gusts in the 25 to 35 range. Okay, and that's going to be during the daylight hours today, because once we get into the overnight here, this quickly diminishes and goes away. Okay, so it's just a during the day thing today for these wind gusts that we're expecting to be quite windy. And then after that, we will be just fine. Okay, clearing out overnight as well. And then Friday is going to be a little bit colder because we have that cold air advection settle in a quick transient trough settling over the region. It's going to give us temperatures kind of near average for a day here on Friday. And then over the weekend, we start to warm up again. And the reason for that, you see this high pressure it's sitting over the southeastern United States? That is going to slide offshore and get into the Bermuda high position. So it's not a really cranking Bermuda high setup here, but it is enough that the return flow comes in from the southwest as we get over the weekend, and that's going to increase these temperatures quite a bit, well into the 40s, and in some places 50s in our southeastern areas by the time we get to Sunday, okay? And that is with that high pressure offshore. We also have this very weak cold front moving toward us, and we've been talking about this all week too, and with the timing of this. This keeps speeding up a little bit. Now, I kept watching. This is 4 p.m., and it's getting almost to Philadelphia. Of course, then the NFC Championship game is in Philadelphia on Sunday, and I talked about that the last couple of days too. Since this is speeding up a little bit, not impossible that you see a shower during the game. So we'll see what the timing is when the short-range stuff comes in, and it will have the NAM on Friday. It looks like after the game would it be anything that would be notable, though. So it could be a few spits during the game, and then after that point, it looks like once you get the evening, you get a few more spits roll through, and that's it. So then when we get into Sunday night, Monday, still could be a shower hanging around here, but it looks like we're just going to be mostly cloudy otherwise on Monday to start the new work week, and still on the mild side. Tuesday we start coming down a little bit because this is a kind of a weak front that's going to move through the region, and then we have this next system moving in for Tuesday, late Tuesday night, and Wednesday, okay? Now, right now, the European model shown here, and most guidance and ensembles are suggesting this is going to be too far north, and the boundary that this is riding, there's a boundary right here. That's kind of riding that boundary in that direction. If it ends up, this boundary ends up a little bit further south like this, we might be able to get some snow out of it. So it's a lot, it's still a week away. Most models are not pointing to that idea, and I think this is probably going to be the correct solution or something close to it. But just for an example, here's the GFS that ran earlier yesterday. I don't have the new overnight run for the GFS because it decided not to run this evening for whatever reason. So it must be delayed for some reason. I'm not going to sit around and wait for it. So here's what the afternoon yesterday run did, and it had this boundary layer for the south, and then you have some snow across our region instead. So it's going to be critical with this particular system where this boundary layer sets up. If it's down here like this, and you have low pressure riding along that boundary there, you could have some snow on the northern side of that, but we'll see. We have a lot of time to look at that. That would be our next opportunity. It's right at the turn of the month or the end of the month, beginning of February, so several days to look at that. But right now, I would probably bank on this solution occurring, which is a little bit warmer with a boundary layer further to the north, which would yield more rain out of this situation. So we'll see. We'll continue to follow this in the week ahead and let you know what that does in the coming days and future videos. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for January 26, 2023. Have a great Thursday.